Everyone has a different reason or need for building a studio, but a common thread among all of these applications is the need for a control room. That is, a room that is designed to facilitate critical listening. While a detailed discussion of acoustics is beyond the scope of this program, let me just say that the most popular control room design is the live-end, dead-end concept conceived by Chips Davis. Its basic premise is an absorptive front wall and a diffusive back wall. This type of construction is simple and economical, and it also can fit into the most popular destinations for a project studio, that being a bedroom, basement, garages, or dedicated structures. Another important aspect is to have non-parallel walls, yet maintaining symmetry in the design. It's for this reason that I decided to Frankenstein two designs together, because they seemed to fit into the space that I had available to me. But first, I need to take accurate measurements of my space and put them into a graphic layout program to determine the angle and the wall placement before I begin construction. I started by making a page with the same dimensions as my space and drawing any obstacles into the floor plan. I'm building my room in the basement of a former community church. I was lucky enough to get 9-foot ceiling height in this space. However, there are still obstacles, which are the support beams for the house and exterior windows. There's a studio in town that was designed by Chips Davis. The stereo imaging in this studio is impeccable. I was familiar with the Chips Davis design from school, but I'd never been in one that he had actually designed. Much of the inspiration for my room came from this room, so I took measurements and applied that to my design. A few months later, I found an article in EQ magazine, September 2004. There was a design by Wes Lachaux that I agreed with and would be an excellent guide, as the point of the article was to show a room that could be built in common places such as basements, bedrooms, and garages. An intriguing sidebar written by Lachaux and an interview with him in another magazine a few months later led to a phone consult about room ratios. Without going into the voodoo of these numbers, my room's width will be 1.618 times its height, which is phi. And the length will be 1.414 times the width, which is a dissonant musical chord called the augmented fourth. The only thing I disagreed on was the corners in the front portion of the room. To solve this, I applied the angles and measurements from the Chips Davis room on top of the Lachaux design. I was amazed to find that the angles of the main walls were similar. The Davis design gave indication to the angles of the front walls. Here is the finished layout with the Frankenstein design. Using guidelines in the layout program, I was able to draw around the room design and get exact measurements for the walls and the angles involved. So now I have a plan. Because of the nature of construction, the measurements will change as I start building the room, but at least I have some sort of plan to start the process and sort of predict what's going to happen in the room. So now let's get to the construction.